You ever see a car so advanced it makes you do a double take? It's like, hold up, are they even allowed to sell this thing yet? Because that's the vibe Mazda is bringing into 2026. For years, Mazda was known as the brand that quietly over-delivered. Clean design, smooth driving, and smart engineering, but nothing too crazy on the surface. Now, they're flipping the script. The 2026 lineup feels like Mazda decided to stop playing it safe and start building cars that look, feel, and drive like they came back from the future. If you think Mazda only makes nice normal cars, stay with me for the next few minutes. Because by the end of this video, you might be wondering why these cars aren't getting way more attention. Let's start with the one that's been breaking the internet in enthusiast circles. The return of Mazda's most legendary idea, the rotary. But this time, it's not the old-school gas-only setup people remember. Mazda has been teasing a future where performance doesn't mean sacrificing efficiency. And that future gets real when you look at what they're doing with the spirit of the RX series. The vision behind it traces back to concepts like the Mazda RX-VISION, which showed the world that Mazda never forgot how to make a car that makes your heart race just by looking at it. Now imagine that idea reborn for 2026 with hybrid assistance, ultra-lightweight engineering, and insane throttle response. This is the kind of car that doesn't just go fast in a straight line. It feels alive in your hands. The steering is tuned for connection, the balance is near perfect, and the engine note is designed to remind you why driving is supposed to be emotional. In a world where everything is going electric and quiet, Mazda leaning into a higher-eving, tech-packed performance machine feels almost rebellious. It's the kind of car that makes you look over your shoulder when you park it, just to make sure it's still real. But here's where Mazda really starts to feel like they're cheating the system. They didn't just build one futuristic car. They went after the daily driver too. Picture an electric sedan that doesn't look like a weird science experiment, but instead looks clean, premium, and low-key expensive. That's the direction Mazda is pushing with their next-gen EV sedans. And one of the models people can't stop talking about is the Mazda 6e. This isn't just another EV with a big screen glued to the dashboard. This is Mazda trying to prove that electric cars can still have soul. The driving position feels sporty, the weight distribution is dialed in for balance, and the interior doesn't scream tech demo. It feels like a luxury lounge that just happens to move silently at highway speed. The range is designed for real life, not just lab numbers. So you're not constantly stressing about charging every time you leave the house. The tech inside isn't just flashy for no reason. The displays are placed where your eyes naturally go. The controls are intuitive. The whole system feels like it was designed by people who actually enjoy driving, not just coding software. Then there's the SUV that quietly became one of the most advanced family cars Mazda has ever built. The Mazda CX-90 is the kind of vehicle that makes you realize how far normal SUVs have come. On the outside, it looks refined and mature. But underneath, it's loaded with technology that would have sounded like sci-fi just a few years ago. We're talking plug-in hybrid capability that lets you drive short trips on electric power alone, still having serious horsepower when you need it. The platform is tuned for stability at speed, so highway cruising feels calm and confident. And when you push it through corners, it doesn't feel like a heavy family bus. Inside, the materials feel closer to a luxury brand than what people expect from Mazda, and the safety tech is always watching your back. Lane assist, adaptive cruise, collision avoidance, all working quietly in the background so the car feels like it's protecting you without constantly yelling at you. This is the kind of SUV that makes road trips feel effortless. That's exactly why it feels illegal. It's too comfortable, too capable, and too advanced for what people think a Mazda should be. Now let's talk about the SUV that might completely change how people look at Mazda in the electric world. The Mazda CX-6e is built to compete in a market that's getting crowded with electric crossovers, but Mazda isn't playing the same game as everyone else. Instead of chasing weird futuristic styling, they kept it clean and premium. Instead of focusing only on giant screens, they focused on how the car feels to drive. The instant torque makes city driving effortless. Merging onto highways feels like you're teleporting forward. And the quiet cabin makes long drives way less tiring. The range is built for real people, not just perfect conditions. And fast charging means you're not stuck waiting forever when you do need to plug in. This is the kind of EV that doesn't feel like a compromise. It feels like an upgrade. And when you realize this level of performance and tech is coming from Mazda, the brand people used to associate with affordable sedans, it starts to feel unfair to the competition. But maybe the most surprising glope of all is the new generation of the enthralled 110-5. The Mazda CX-5 has always been popular, but the 2026 version feels like Mazda decided to flex. The interior tech is on another level with a massive display that actually integrates smart features in a way that feels smooth instead of annoying. Voice controls that actually understand you, navigation that updates in real time, and driver assist features that make traffic way less stressful. The exterior design gets sharper, more aggressive, and more premium, to the point where people might start confusing it for a luxury brand from a distance. This is the car that millions of people will actually buy, and that's why it's so wild. Advanced tech isn't just for rich people anymore. Mazda is slipping futuristic features into everyday cars, and most drivers won't even realize how much engineering is happening under the hood. When you step back and look at the big picture, it starts to make sense why these cars feel almost illegal. Mazda isn't just upgrading specs. They're upgrading the experience of driving itself. They're making electric cars that don't feel boring, SUVs that don't feel clumsy, and performance machines that still care about efficiency. In a time when many brands are copy-pasting the same ideas, Mazda is quietly doing things their own way. They're blending old-school driving feel with new-school tech, and that combination is dangerous in the best way possible. So the real question isn't whether these cars are too advanced. The real question is why more brands aren't taking risks like this. Mazda can build cars that look this good, drive this well, pack this much tech into everyday models. Then the bar for the entire industry just got raised. And that's a win for all of us who actually love cars, not just the idea of owning one. If you had to pick just one of these Mazdas to drive every day in 2026, which one would it be? The futuristic EV, the hybrid family beast, or the performance machine that feels like it escaped from a concept car showroom? Drop your pick in the comments. And if you want more videos breaking down the most insane cars coming in the next few years, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned because the future of cars is getting wild.